Hello, this is Will from Will to Trade. You can check me out at willtotrade.com, and I wanted to make a quick market recap video on stock ticker EBIO. EBIO. This has actually been in the news today, yesterday, last week. Basically, yesterday, NASDAQ announced that EBIO had resumed compliance, so that's obviously really good news for EBIO. And May 26, we have some news that Boxer Capital reports a 7.5% passive stake in EBIO. So that's always exciting to see some big money investment firms out there putting their money into companies like this. Because let's just take a look at this is the 1-day chart here today in the 5-minute, and we'll get to this in here in a minute. But let's look at the 1 year. Yeah, EBIO's really been through a lot this past year. You know, it just squeezed and spiked up just ever so briefly up to $8, but that's not a real solid move. Most of the year kind of hovered right here around $2.83, and then it fell off dramatically, and it went all the way down to 25 cents a share. I mean, I don't mean to laugh, but you know, it got beat up real bad, and it almost looked like EBIO was gonna go to zero. Interestingly enough, our room had actually alerted EBIO about a month ago at 40 cents. Now, obviously, we're in, we're out. We're not necessarily going to buy it at 40 cents and hold for a whole month, but that would be a fantastic move if someone did that. You know, they'd be up multiple times. But you know, let's zoom in here, and I have some previous lines drawn from some previous videos about EBIO. Look right there in the 40-cent mark, and how it, you know, it spiked up and then pulled back and then spiked up and then really spiked up here, you know, to 170 range, and then kind of choppy for the past couple weeks or so. And today, again, a really, really strong move. So, and again, I think, you know, today's move is because of the NASDAQ compliance. Let's take a look at the 1 minute. Just so smooth up here, and then it gets really choppy. And we talk about that in other videos, and we'll talk about it again. You know, trading in this chop, it's really challenging. You know, doesn't mean it can't be done, but it's just extra more difficult. You know, we like to trade within the push, the momentum, new high day, new high day. So let's zoom in here. I got to give shout out to members. We had members in the room alerting this. I was looking at it, but we had members alerting it. I want to say in the 150 range. Maybe even before, maybe even like in the 140 to 150 range. So shout out to our members. You know, our room, we're all trying to help each other. You know, I'll give a bunch of alerts throughout the day, and other members will give alerts as well. You know, we're all looking at the same stocks, and we're all trying to see big momentum movers that we can find. Because EBIO did a little bit in the pre-market, but ultimately nothing really. You know, it had this first little pop up here, up to about $1.50. And a little bit of volume, but I don't think it really got interesting until right here. You know, it's kind of flat, it goes up, it pulls back, creates somewhat again of a cup, and then it breaks. And as you can see, look at this volume spike. You know, right at this moment, it breaks this previous high, and it has this huge volume kicks in. You know, it's $1.50, and it basically surges all the way to over $2. You know, I mean, that's like a 30-35% gain, you know, from the $1.50. So for anyone that's able to buy at $1.50 and just hold all the way to $2, you know, you've made a tremendous gain. Me personally, I didn't really alert it until it was $1.60, and then saying, okay, you know, maybe sell it at $1.70. You know, admittedly, I underestimated the move that it had in it. It just once it started taking off, it really just kept going and going. But I did want to talk about just a couple of different strategies of how you could trade a stock like this throughout the day. Again, there's really no right or wrong answer, but I think the best time to trade it is in this morning ramp up. Again, you know, we had also alerted another time to jump in right here at $1.90. You know, we were looking at you know this potential huge cut being formed, and we're thinking, well, if it could squeeze through $1.90, it may have the potential to squeeze up almost into $2, and maybe even come through and break this previous high of day at 210 and possibly continue to run up some more. Certainly those moves happen. We were thinking it could, just trying to be forward thinking, jumping in before the ramp up. But it's just a reminder of why, for the most part, we like to buy above the high of day. So I think in retrospect, a smarter alert would have been, let's buy above 210, let's buy at 211, 212, 215, something, or even above $2, 201, 205, just something to show more of a move up above, this whole range. So, a lot of members jumped in at 190 and then sold right away to break even. But there, as you can see, there's just not much here. And as you can see, it's just so, let me zoom in. I mean, it's just really choppy, it just goes up and comes down, it goes up and comes down. It's really hard to trade in this time frame. So let's go to the good time to trade as it's making that swing up. I mean, look how clean these lines are. So again, you could certainly jump in really early right here at the $1.38 or $1.40 level. This is really only if you have specifically EBIO on your radar, or if you're looking at stocks that are breaking new high of day. Otherwise, again, for me, there just wasn't enough volume that kicked in, and there wasn't enough of a chart that had drawn itself out yet to really understand what EBIO could do. So again, I come back to this $1.50. It's a great time to jump in and just, let me just illustrate like two different strategies. One strategy is you could buy $1.50 and just kind of wait it out, just patiently wait it out, wait for it to come up, pull back, go up, pull back, and then surge all the way up here, and sell anywhere in this neighborhood. You could do that. You could do that trade with a hard stop or a soft stop, and then move your stop up accordingly. Maybe to break even, and then up here to the 155, and then eventually to 160, and then just keep riding your stop up. And as you can see, probably right around here, you'd get stopped out anywhere from 180 to 190. That's one strategy. From buying in here and moving up. Another strategy is you have a soft stop, which just means that you're not putting in the actual market order for a stop, but you're aware that, okay, this could fall at any moment and it could sell, and then you're just waiting for that squeeze above $2, and again, you actually sell at a limit order anywhere in the 2 to 210 range. That's one kind of main strategy for trading EBIO. And it's easy to see that now because we know what happened. We know it went from $1.50 to over $2. But during the day, you don't know that, and you don't know how far will it run. So the other strategy is basically just scalping. It's basically buying break of high of day, which would be right here. Buying at $1.50, putting your order in, and then just selling at $1.55, $1.56. I mean, it's like 4%. 4% might not seem that exciting. Okay, it's not that exciting, but it adds up. You see it reaches another high a day here, and you wait for the pullback. And you say, okay, here's the pullback. I'm going to buy again, at that next break above. So you could buy in at $1.57, $1.58, add on your 4%, and you get it right here at, $1.64. And then you wait for, then you have another high of day, you wait for another pullback, and you buy here. But here, it doesn't just go up 4%. Here, from $1.64, 65 to, even up to here to $1.97, it's like 19, 20%. Again, there's no way to anticipate that. So if you just, scalped 4%, 4%, and 4%, even if you just did that, you'd be up 4, 8, 12% on the day for EBIO. And that's still a solid return. That's just one approach. And then you could make another scalp right around here, $1.98. You don't necessarily have to wait for that break of the whole dollar, but you're looking for, continuation move above the high of day. 198 to coincidentally 208, it's going to get you another 4%. So, that's a possibility where you're scalping 4%, 1, 2, 3, even 4 times. Now you're up 16% on the day, and you're quick in and out. That's really the key. On this particular scalp, you'd be in and out in 3 minutes. On this particular scalp, you're in and out in 2 or 3 minutes. If you did just a 4% move here and not maximize the entire 19% move, you'd be in and out in easily 2 minutes. If you waited for this next one, you'd be out again in 2 minutes. So it's just different strategies. Some people like to jump in and just hold, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you have a big move like EBIO, you can capitalize on a 30% move, and that's a great trade. Other traders like to jump in, jump out quick. They just don't want to be in the market any longer than they have to. Some traders get nervous or antsy if they're in the market for any longer than 2 or 3 minutes. You may think 2 or 3 minutes. I mean, that's like, come on, what kind of trade is that? But there's just different strategies, and some of you watching this video, you're super aware of all the strategies. some of you watching the video may not know about the strategies, and that's why I wanted to go over them. And the reason that some traders like to jump out quick is because they know that at any moment, boom, this could happen, right? At any moment, boom, this could happen. And not only do you have one big red, candle here, but you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 in a row. So it's like, jump in, jump out, grab your profit, okay, on to the next. Jump in, jump out, grab your profit, on to the next. And again, even within, not to overwhelm you, but even within these little micro scalps, if you will, there's still different strategies. One strategy is, okay, we're buying above this break of the high a day. We're buying up here above the break of high a day. But another strategy is people want to buy on a dip, right? It's not right or wrong. It's just different ways of doing it. So you could start by seeing this is flat and it runs up. Okay, it's up. Now it's on my radar. You're waiting for the dip and you're buying anywhere in this pullback in the 145 to 142 range. You have to wait a little bit longer, but then you sell up into there. And then you may buy in on this pullback, like around $1.53, and then your move is there. Sometimes if you buy in the pullback, you may be able to do better than 3, 4, or 5% gain. You may be able to do 7, 8, 9, 10% gain. Again, here, you wait for it to go up, and there's your pullback, and you're going to buy in at about $1.60, and having a huge gain, obviously, if you buy in at $1.60. So there are just plenty of ways to trade, plenty of different stocks. This is just one stock on one day, and already we see dozens of different ways to trade it. So I hope this video was informative for you. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you love the video, go ahead and hit subscribe so you can get alerted to all my new videos that come out when they do come out. And if you are interested in checking out our site, our room, just go to the site will2trade.com, fill out the form. We'll get you all set up. Thank you so much. Have a great day.